Lesson 6-6, Fitting a Quadratic Model to Data. The big idea is a quadratic regression is like a linear regression in that it finds the model with the least sum of squares of differences from the given data points to the values predicted by the model. So if you remember before, we did a linear regression where we had a whole bunch of coordinates points in a coordinate plane, and they fit a model that best suited those points. Same thing's going to happen with the quadratic regression. You're going to have points, and it's going to fit those points to the best model that it possibly can. So what you're going to need is your calculator and a few points. In Chapter 3, you learned how to find an equation for a line through 2 points, and how to find a linear model for the data that lie approximately on a straight line. You can also fit a quadratic model to the data that lie approximately on a parabola. Quadratic regression fits a model of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c to data. So it's going to put it into standard form. Steps for doing quadratic regression on your calculator. Your first step is to press the stat button. So we go right over here. Press the stat button, then edit button, which is number 1. Step 2 says in L1, put your x coordinates. So in this column right here, we would put our x coordinates. In L2, put in your y coordinates. Okay, so in L2, you're going to put your y coordinates. You need to have a minimum of 3 points is what you have to know for a quadratic regression. There has to be at least 3 points. Step 3 then says you're going to press the stat button, arrow over to calculate, and then press number 5, which is a quadratic regression. When doing that, you hit enter and put your equation, and it will put your equation into standard form. So let's give one of these a try. The example says the parabola at the right contains the points -1, 7, 1, -3, and 5, 1. So in my L1, I'm going to put -1, 1, and 5. And then I'm going to put in my L2 7, -3, and 1. And you got to make sure that these line up. So it should say -1, 7, 1, -3, 5, 1. Okay? And then it says find its equation. So I go to my calculator. I hit stat. I hit edit. I type in those numbers, -1, 1, 5. And in my L2, 7, -3, 1. Okay. Now that those are in there, I got my 3 points, a minimum of 3 points. I hit stat. I arrow over to calculate. I press number 5 and hit enter. And as you can see, it gives me my standard form. And then down below here, it tells me my A is 1, my B is a -5, and my C is 1. So find its equation, y equals 1x squared minus 5x plus 1 is going to be my equation that models this parabola. And that's all I have for you today. Please enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow.